Hello YouTube, my name is Nero. Today we have some more Fallout 4. It's been quite a long time since we posted a Fallout 4 video here to the channel, especially with this character, my sneaky sniper, who of course I played through all the DLC with here on the channel. What I thought we would do with this video is show you guys my sanctuary. Now it's nothing special. I should preface this all by saying it's nothing special. But I do enjoy watching other people's builds and stuff like that of their various settlements. And I've spent the most time here at Sanctuary because it's my personal favorite place to hang out. It's the hometown of our main characters, and I think it's kind of neat that with the Minutemen, we were able to rebuild it, essentially. This has gone through many different phases. Initially, there was actually a giant platform here on top of this house. The biggest thing that's always bothered me about the creation of buildings and stuff like that here in Sanctuary is no matter what the Minutemen do, you can't fix the houses that are already here. Like, you still have the foundation for your house. You have the house across the way here where the Minutemen kind of, like, take up as residence. You can't fix the roof. Like, can we just have the roof be fixed? Like, initially I put, like, a giant platform over top of it, and it ended up being terrible, so I knocked it down. So here is our house, Nate and Nora's. I basically, you're going to notice like there are parts of this settlement that are terrible looking because they're like the first couple things I did, like just throwing down these things on the floor. And then there are other things that like just actually look a lot better. So I always would save right here inside my actual bedroom. Another thing that bothered me, again, you can't fix the windows or block them off properly, which kind of bothered me. But this is where I kept the majority of my stuff, you know, different kinds of outfits I found that would be cool. I put a safe down here where you keep important stuff or stuff that you think would be cool to give to your settlers, like, you know, different vault jumpsuits or of course your wedding ring and so on and so forth, things that you maybe don't want to actually go ahead and get rid of. I should mention there are spoilers here in this video for the end of the game if that's something that you are worried about seeing, but chances are at this point most of you guys have seen it. There's one character that's walking around here. It's not it's not this guy who's checking out the wall. It's not him. But there is a character that kind of like is walking around that may be a big spoiler for the end of the game. Just letting you guys know. But yeah, so here's the building that the Minutemen typically hang out in. Didn't do anything really special to it. I did try, like I said, to fix the roof to make it so it doesn't rain in here as often. But this is where Mama Murphy hangs out. I put her away from everyone else because she's freaking annoying. Right? No one likes Mama Murphy. And so just a bunch of beds and stuff like that, radio, just making it as livable, I suppose, as possible here in the post-apocalypse. This is also where I keep various power armors and so on and so forth. I did decide to tear down what was left of this building over here and turn it into another building, again, for settlers and stuff like that. Initially, this had a bunch of beds. Now it has weight benches, which for some reason, they are fascinated with these weight benches. They're always here. They're always hanging out. And so I guess they're happy with that. We also have a pool table with the radio in the middle. They obviously don't play pool, even if you set down pool cues and stuff like that. And then, of course, over here...
Please, just... I need to be alone right now.
You're watching the TV there, John? June? Which one is it? I'm not sure. You're watching the Please Stand By? Because that's all that's there. That's all that's ever going to be there. And then there's my boy Codsworth. Now, you'll notice there is an entire upstairs section. This goes back to what I was saying earlier. There was an entire, like, second story, third story, basically built right here. But I decided to tear that down. And we basically have this upstairs area, different kinds of alcohol and stuff like that here. And this is what I call the Armory. It's a restricted area, but the door is wide open. You can just walk in if you want to. This is where basically I would throw a bunch of my weapons and stuff like that. I never took any of the skills that would, like, benefit, like, tearing down weapons and stuff like that for parts. So I just threw them all in here because I was always over encumbered. So lots and lots of weapons all throughout here. Different things for the Assaultron DLC, so on and so forth. This was my main character. I guess technically is my main character. So checking out the levels here, as you guys can see, level 72. So I technically, you know, played the game quite a bit on this character. And this is the guy I did all the DLC with. I initially beat the game as him, so on and so forth. So I was always over encumbered, would throw my stuff in here. For some reason, that light bulb stops working. I've noticed there's a lot of cool things you can do with these settlements, but it's a very buggy system at the end of the day. Like, for example, this light bulb should technically be turned on, and I feel as though if I move it around eventually, yeah, if you move it around, eventually it will turn on. Then you place it back, like, pretty much where it was. I don't want to store, I want to escape. Now suddenly the light bulb works. Like, little tiny quirks like that. And, of course, you can set up people here to basically be on defense. Well, downside to the settlement system in this game, for sure, is the more walls you have, the more protection you have, the less your settlement actually gets invaded. I'm yet to actually have a single invasion. I spent a lot of time making sure this place was, like, ready to stop invasions. Like, I would have people set up here. Sometimes things don't actually go into the ground as they should. But I'd have a lot of people, set up here watching basically out towards the Commonwealth and stuff like that. This is where we get our water and such. But we've never actually been invaded, which is a bit of an issue. And this, of course, is using some assets from the Nuka World DLC. Yeah, I just wanted to add a little bit of spice to it. There's not a lot like in here or anything like that. Just various things I was working on. Hopefully, by watching this video, you guys get some inspiration for putting together your own settlements. Now, in terms of food and such, and there's our spoiler right there. But in terms of food and such like that, we basically just have a giant farm here. All sorts of different things for the characters to actually work on. They basically just get food from there. We also get water from the river, as well as, I believe, yeah, there's a pump up here if you want to get some like clean water and stuff like that. So that's basically that. There are various buildings and stuff like that all throughout here. Like I say, it's sometimes difficult to really get a cool settlement. So this building initially, as you guys can tell, I set up to be a bar. It was freaking cool. So what you can do, the reason why I have so much alcohol and stuff like that here, is you can set it up and place tons of alcohol all here on top of these shelves and stuff like that, and it looks fantastic. It really does. But the trouble is, if you like save or log out or you come back occasionally, all the bottles will be clipped, like, it's hard to show it, but like right inside of this thing where they're sitting on, they'll be half clipped inside of there, and just, it looks terrible and stupid. So this building that I kind of like was going to renovate to become a bar didn't really end up working out because of that fact. Now, the rest of the buildings here are basically just places for, again, light bulbs randomly not working. They're basically places for your settlers to sleep and stuff like that. I wanted to basically use up all the space that we had. There are ways to get more settlers. Like, I am equipped right now to have hundreds of settlers if the game can actually have that. And there are apparently ways that will actually allow you to go ahead and do that, but I didn't do that yet. I don't have like any of that set up or anything like that. So the outside, I guess we can show you guys like the outside here. I did not use all of Sanctuary. So for example, this building here is pretty much completely unoccupied. Same with this building here. I did put some buses and stuff there just to add a little bit of flavor to the area. Sanctuary for all, Walking Dead reference there. But yeah, basically the fenced in areas are the areas to which we actually use here within my version of Sanctuary. And at times it's hard to get, a perfect wall set. But if you're talking about like raiders and stuff like that invading you, or super mutants, they can't walk through here. They can try, but they won't be able to walk up through here. So all you gotta do is place down little tiny things like that. It's going to give you basically the effect of an entire wall. And then of course we have the wall going across all the way here. The only open area, I guess, would be the door by the water, so we can get out towards the water. But as I said, typically we have people up here at the posts and stuff like that protecting it. Now this here was initially going to be like a factory. What DLC was that? It was a small content update that gave us like different stuff for our settlements, and I didn't do a lot with it, honestly, because again, I don't have a lot of people. Actually, I keep pressing the wrong buttons. I don't have a lot of people here actually within my settlement. We have 15 total people. If we had a lot more, then we would be okay. I'd be able to actually set people up in here. But this is basically going to be like where the merchants and stuff are going to be, the general trader, the armor, the weapons and stuff like that. We're basically going to turn it into like a flea market building, more or less. And I like the way that it looks, honestly. I thought it turned out kind of cool. This, building up with walls and stuff like that, using different assets. But like I said, you still have enough people really to be able to get that working right now. This is the kind of thing where I feel as though I'm going to be messing with it. Was he actually aiming down sights with his rifle there for a moment, actually taking a peek? That's so cool. I'm a big fan of that. But yeah, it's one of those things where I feel as though this is going to be like a work in progress for a very long time. Like Fallout 4 is one of those games to me where I think I'm always going to go back and play it eventually, just to have fun with it, And again, random light bulbs not working. It's more of a lounge building than anything. Yeah, so over time, I think I'm going to try and get more settlers in here, whether I have to mod them in or if I have to... There's something I can do to set that up. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. But this is my sanctuary. I think it's pretty cool. I don't know. This is where I would spend a lot of my time. Outhouses. Very important. You ever think about where your survivors are going to poop? Well, now you know. They poop in here. Although, there's a bit of an issue. I guess it isn't so much of an issue. You just clean that out. Because typically outhouses, if it's a permanent one anyway, we're going to start talking about outhouses here for a moment. There's like a hole in the ground, like underneath the outhouse. Obviously, there's no hole because we're using this dead guy's driveway. But, we do what we can here. And as I say, there are walls going basically all the way around here. Actually, we never actually... I never actually blocked that off right there. That's how they're going to get in. that needs to be fixed. Well, it's a good thing I made this video then. I think this over here as well needs to be covered up as well. Yeah. Oh, this actually... Oh, wait. I think I intentionally... That's probably why I didn't block it off. I think I was intending to have a wall go from here to here. So there's basically like a super secret, sneaky back way to the root cellar. Have you been to the root cellar? I'll take you to the root cellar. It's kind of a cool spot. It's always here. It's in the base vanilla game. And it's just like this place where apparently somebody that lived in Sanctuary was like holding out, basically. I don't think I ever actually took this character down here. Let's unlock the old safe. Let's see what's inside. So I basically built this, this entire build is pretty much mod free. There isn't a lot of mods to it or anything like that. But I think there may be a couple. There are definitely some really cool ones you can do. Like, you know, I was complaining that you can't fix the roofs of your buildings here in Sanctuary. Well, there are mods that can do that, but like they mess with your save a lot, apparently. Like it's not as cut and dry as, you know, this mod fixes just the roofs and the walls or the windows and stuff like that. There are mods that will give you like the pre-war building, but I don't want the pre-war buildings. Like I don't want the pre-war version of my house to be here. That's a bit unrealistic. What I do want is not... Carla, shush. All I want is to fix the roof so it doesn't rain on us, and I would like to be able to either have windows or like board this up somehow. You can, if you get super tricky with it, I think you can. Like, let's go ahead and go to structures, wood, wooden walls. Let's try and find a relatively small one here. There are lots of them now once you have like all the DLC and stuff like that. That's a little bit too big. Maybe it's under miscellaneous. There we go. If you get stuff like this, if you angle it just right, then maybe you can like board up like part of your window. Yeah, like that. It just doesn't look good, right? Just isn't quite what you're looking for. So, you know, I do the best I can. This is my Sanctuary. Nothing crazy, nothing expansive. I do watch Oxhorn's videos on occasion, and I see some of the stuff that he's done. It's like, wow. You know, that's he's done a lot of really cool stuff here. Or when you see mods of like what other people do, or just videos in general, it's cool to see. So I thought I would show you guys my Sanctuary. As I said, nothing spectacular. But if this place did have a ton of people, you know, occupants in every single house, you can set your settlers to sleep in certain beds. I could essentially make families and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot I could technically do with this. And I think there are also mods that will allow you to make it so you have a lot more invasions and stuff like that. So that would be interesting, because when your settler dies, you know, they'll be replaced eventually. But, you know, another thing that was always difficult for me is the angles and stuff like that. Like, why can't we just have part of this clip into the ground? Why is it has to be, just because the ground is angled, it has to be like all goofy and up in the air and stuff like that? Like, you can't just like clip it into the ground and make it look like it actually belongs. You have to freaking, I don't know, have it sticking out and stuff, which is confusing. Yeah, I definitely like the settlement system here in Fallout 4. It is definitely a pretty cool addition to this series, at least in my opinion, but it's definitely a bit rough around the edges. And I imagine, and there's old Preston, every time I talk to him, he has to get all mad about what I did to the Institute. But I imagine, you know, in the next Fallout, if they decide to go along with settlements, which I kind of hope they do, there's definitely pros and cons. A big con would be there are not many actual NPC cities around, because all the places that would have been cities are just buildable areas for the player. But I kind of like having at least a couple of settlements where you can, you know, make a home, make a city, make a settlement for you and your residents, and try and ride out the apocalypse together. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you guys here in this video. A pretty random one, honestly, but I thought it was pretty fun, and I want to share my Sanctuary with you guys. Where do you guys build? What is... this is like a leftover. I don't know why this is here. Where do you guys build? I don't want to scrap it. I want to put it inside the workshop. There we go. Where do you guys build? What do you guys like to... Are you guys a fan of Sanctuary here? Do you guys like to do the drive-in? Do you guys like to do that tiny little space inside Boston? I forget the name of it right now. Like, where do you guys like to build? Let me know down there in the comment section below, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.